Hey, all this working from home has reminded me of the last time I basically worked from home. This is Chris Johnson. I was an RA for 3 semesters when I was in college. You're probably thinking, how the fuck did your ass get hired to be an RA? I mean, it's very simple. I can talk and I'm full of shit. I can talk, I can lie, I know how to do fucking interviews and I'm full of shit. You honestly think I can't fucking bullshit my way through a fucking RA interview? I'm not going to walk in there and say like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about anything. But what I want you to do is to pay for my full room and half my board. And I want a single. So just hire me for this fucking RA position. I'm not a complete fucking moron. I knew what I needed to say. I knew I had to do shit up. I knew I had to pretend to be like one of these fucking cheerleader fucking nerds to be hired to be a fucking RA. But I wanted that goddamn single. And I didn't think it would be as bad as it was. I knew it'd be fucking annoying, and I'd have to do a lot of dumb bullshit, but I had no fucking idea what I was getting my ass into. The worst part about that fucking job was the fact that you lived there. You're fucking living at your job. And as much as I don't really like working from home now, it is fucking nothing compared to what it was like being a fucking RA. I'm in my fucking apartment here. I got a fucking kitchen, a fucking stove. I got the fucking run of the place for the most part. When you're in a fucking college dorm, being a fucking RA, you got your fucking room. That's it. It's a fucking bedroom. It's not very big. You got enough room for like a fucking single twin bed, your fucking computer desk, your TV, and that's about it. They're fucking tiny rooms. You watch fucking movies and shit, these dorms are fucking enormous. Bullshit. You go to an actual fucking dorm, it's a fucking closet, which is why I needed to get my own fucking room. That's the only reason I wanted to do that fucking job. I started midway through the year, right? Like my first RA semester was in the spring, which would be like starting in January. Because of that, I was able to kind of slip through that first year without many people really paying attention to me. The whole fucking staff was already there. I was just one of these dickheads coming in from the outside. There were already assholes established as being troublemakers, so I let them just fucking deal with the brunt of all the bullshit, and I just tried to fucking keep my head down and get by. The next year, though, that was when everything went to shit. That was when my buddy D-Block got fired. I got in a lot of fucking trouble. I had to have meetings with bosses. I got put on job probation. The incident when I got put on job probation is kind of what I want to talk about, because they wanted to have a fucking meeting with me, like a you're in deep shit fucking meeting. I didn't want to have the meeting. Like I knew a meeting was coming. Just a really quick rundown of what led to the fucking blow up. I was unprepared for a staff meeting, even though it was bullshit, and I was told to leave the meeting, and I fucking argued it in front of fucking everybody. There was like an 18-person staff, and I didn't give a shit. And then I got kicked out of the meeting with a bunch of other people. Then we came back to the meeting, tried to get back in, and it just was bad. And the fucking boss was crying. It was a disaster. So the boss was so pissed that she told her boss, and they wanted to meet with me at some point in time, but they didn't give me a fucking time. The RA job, they always like pimped how it was going to be like, we're going to prepare you for life. The skills you're going to learn here being an RA is shit that you can take anywhere. Which is a fucking crock of shit. Like, you don't learn anything. They don't prepare you for anything. It's just like bureaucratic bullshit. So my boss was a hall director, her boss was an area coordinator, and there was only one step off from her boss, which is like the big fucking residence life and housing boss, and that guy was a douchebag piece of shit. I didn't have to meet with that motherfucker, but I had to meet with the person like a step below. I'm an anxious person, as you fucking know. I didn't like knowing that I had a fucking meeting coming, but not knowing when the goddamn meeting was. I gotta prepare for this fucking meeting mentally. The fact that I knew the meeting was coming, and I didn't know if I was gonna get fired or what the fuck was gonna happen, because I thought I could legitimately get fired. I had no idea. So I didn't want to be thinking about this every fucking day. It was driving me nuts, because I'm still taking classes and shit. Got a full fucking schedule on top of all this bullshit. And I just didn't know when the fuck was going to happen. Then all of a sudden I got a message on my phone. Old school fucking phones, because this is like early 2000s. I had a cell phone then, but we were still like doing business via like the landlines of the college. We had like an old school fucking answering machine with the fucking tape or whatever in there. And I remember getting back and getting a message, and it was the area coordinator, my boss's boss, and she's like, Chris, I'm downstairs. We're going to meet in 10 minutes. And I heard that message and I was like, get the fuck out of here. I ain't meeting you in no fucking 10 minutes. Fuck that. You can't just spring this fucking meeting on me. I'm not doing it. So what I did was, I packed up my shit, and I just left through the side door. I just fucking disappeared. So when I got back to my room later that night, there were like other messages like, hey, we're downstairs waiting for you. I'm only going to be here another 10 minutes. You know, just like a series of messages. Then like, they were super fucking pissed that I quote unquote blew the meeting off, even though the meeting wasn't even fucking scheduled. So what the fuck did I blow off? I didn't blow off shit. It's not like I agreed to go to the goddamn meeting or it was like set in stone and I just didn't fucking go. I didn't no-show it. I mean, I kind of no-showed it, but you know what I'm talking about. eventually, like days later, I had to have a meeting at the area coordinator's office. It got really serious. Like, okay, we got to go to the big office now. And my boss was there. She was there. It was one of those situations where there was like a big desk and they were both sitting on the other side of the desk and they're like staring at me. It was like a fucking parole hearing or something like you see in the movies. And they started out by like bitching to me about why I skipped the meeting from the other day. They're like, how come you didn't come to the meeting the other day? And I was like, you only gave me 10 minutes notice. I had class. I was like, you can't just schedule a meeting in 10 minutes and then if I don't go, say like, hey, you no-showed the meeting. There was no notice for the meeting. And then they were like, well, you knew that we wanted to meet. Why didn't you pick a time? And I was like, I don't want to have this fucking meeting. I don't want to be in this goddamn meeting. If I had my choice, I wouldn't be having any fucking meeting. So I'm not going to fucking pick a time. If you guys want to meet with me because I did something that you're not happy with, you set up the fucking meeting. Anyway, the meeting didn't go very well. They got really pissed at me because I just kept arguing shit in there too. I had to sign this probation letter. It happened in November. I was on probation until March 31st, and then it got extended to the end of the year. But guess who fucking wins? Chris Johnson wins because I got my fucking whole room paid for the entire year, and I saved a lot of money in fucking tuition and shit. I'll be back Sundays and Wednesdays. New podcast episodes come down then. The host of the podcast is Podbean, website, or the app. I'm also on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, other podcasting sites as well. I am on Twitter at Johnson Hates You. I'm on Instagram at Maybe 5 Minutes, and the cast is going to keep popping up in my Facebook timeline as well, so check for it there.